Hey y'all, welcome back. This is part 2 of Masterboard Madness, and this is take like 5 or 6 today because I did a video already, but then me and the sewing machine got into a fight and the sewing machine won. So this is what we're doing, Masterboard Madness for March 2025. Hazel and Naka Design. Hazel from Hazel and Naka Design is our hostess with the mostest. And what we're doing is she brought us in on March 1st and she's going to take us out on the 31st. And in between all the other days, there are 29 other creators that are so talented. At the end of this, so sometime in the beginning of March, Hazel is putting together a giveaway prize. And the way to enter is go to everybody's channel, watch all 31 videos, make sure that you like, comment, and you're subscribed to everybody. And that right there will enter you, give you an entry into the drawing. Okay, so this was the first one that I made. No, this was the first one that I made. I can tell because of the stitches. Okay, so this is the one that I showed you in part 1. Now, part 2, this was videoed for you to see right now. However, me and the sewing machine got into a fight, and so I just turned off the camera because after 42 minutes, that will take me like a week to upload. So I said in my last video, my part 1, I was going to show you how I keep the line so straight. So, and I'm using different color jeans just so we can, let me put this one aside for a second. So we can make sure that we're getting it done right. Now, I cut these to be approximately 10 inches long. They will need to be trimmed off at the end after we're done, but this is how I do it. And this right here is the key to the mystery, right? These are a quilter's best friend. So that's what I use to keep everything straight. So this is how we start this. Now, because this is going to be a journal cover, and because the length is longer than the height, I need only 7 across, but I need 9 down for the size that I want. And so I'm going to start underneath actually. And so I'm going to put that one there and then put a clip and then take this one and put it up. Put that back over. And then we're going to make sure that that is in the right spot. And what I'm essentially trying to do is get 2 edges that are completely butted up against each other so they're exactly straight. Okay. And this is the boring part, but this step is very necessary if you want your weave to be as tight as possible. And I know that these jeans aren't like exact, and I really wish that I could remember. See, that's crooked right there, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna cut that tiny little piece off at the end. But I really wish that I could remember what I had in store for these, because I'm sure that it was a fantastic idea. However, it was in a project labeled to do with no sticky note or anything else indicating what exactly was to be done. So we're using it for this. So I'm just pulling every other one out of the way, and then when I pull them back over, we're going to make sure that that is tucked tight into that other side there, as tight as possible. Okay, so then we just go back and put all the opposite ones up, and we're going to lay that down, and we're just going to keep doing this. So since for those of you that are new to my channel, and I know that I do have a handful of new subscribers, thank you so much for joining my channel. I very much appreciate it. When I started out, I didn't actually intend to care about subscribers, but this community is just so awesome. Right? I started this out as a stress reliever, believe it or not. My life had gone a little bit crazy there for a minute, and I started binge watching a lot of YouTube. And the funny thing is like I said, I'm a quilter. And so I was watching quilting videos, and then the next thing I know, May made it, popped up in my video feed. I don't know why, because I've never done card making. That was just not my thing. But then because May popped up, then I started getting all these videos about junk journaling. That's how I started, actually. And let me tell y'all, my life has not been the same. I was instantly hooked, to the point where there is actually, like, we did a remodel on my house in 2019. And so my living room and my kitchen are an open concept. And the counter that is closest to the brief little hallway that we have, that connects to the living room, that is my counter, because I told my husband I was tired of digging in the trash for perfectly good craft items. What is he thinking, right? And so now he does not throw anything away without permission, if you will. That's terrible to say it that way, but he's also tired of me digging through the trash. So I have my own counter, and that is where he if he's not sure, that's where it goes. Okay, so you see how tight this is staying? I mean, a little bit of it is loose, and it's going to stay that way for a little bit, but we fix that at the end when we have everything cut. And I don't normally keep this particular cutting mat on my table, but this one rotates. This one right here is a quilter's dream. But I'm kind of disappointed that that other one didn't come out right, because if you didn't watch my last video, I made a quilt that matched that fabric. And so I will be able to make, you need to lay down, Twiggy, I'm not getting up. The dog wants out. And we don't have paws on my camera. Okay, so that's that. Now, the best way to do that is take this one off and find a pin so this doesn't move. And I have here, and we're gonna have to take that one off too, a grid ruler, and move that one over. What I'm gonna do is just line this up with the edge there, and I'm gonna take my rotary cutter And we're just going to cut all those off. Nice and easy. Okay, so we're going to put these back. Okay, I do have to let her out. Forgive me. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Okay, sorry about that. We have 2 dogs and a cat. And the cat could really care less. But we have Jack, who is outside. That's Daddy's boy. And Twiggy is Mommy's girl. And Jack had an accident in my craft room yesterday, and I about blew a gasket because he's old enough to know better. Okay, so I'm going to take the same pin and I'm going to do the same thing. Put that right in there so it doesn't move. Remove that one. And then also put one down here so this doesn't move. I hope I'm in frame there. And yeah, for those of you that are new, I live in the country and we've had so many issues with internet that we are now on, I think, our 3rd internet company. And I cannot airdrop to my TV anymore. I don't know why it doesn't work. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to take all these out. Not those. We're going to take out the pins. And now we're going to pin these to keep this end together. Not pin, clip. We're going to clip these together. And so this here is the time where you, excuse me, where you need to look and see if anything is not straight. And it looks like there might be a little hole here or there, but I think that's going to be good. Okay, so I can move this now. And I'm going to pull this closer and see if we can't get you in frame there. Okay. I made sure that I have a full bobbin. That always helps. And I'm going to not start at the end. I'm going to start at the one right next to the end. And we're just going to sew right down the middle. And there are a couple of ways that you can do this. One of those is not cutting your thread at all. However, that was one of the reasons that me and Sewing Machine were fighting. Because the thread got tangled up in something and I don't know what happened. And I had to unthread and rethread my machine several times because I was just trying to, instead of cutting it right there, I was flipping it. And my machine said, sorry, lady, but that's not happening today. Which I don't understand because I've done that before that way. And it didn't want to work that way today. However, the thread that's in my machine right now, I need to bring this just a little bit closer. The thread that's in my machine right now is actually serger thread. And I got really lucky, and there was a sale going on, and there was a box of what looked like ribbon. And I moved a few things around, and I saw a few rolls of, you know, a few spools of thread in there. However, the guy said that it was mainly ribbon with a little bit of thread. He lied. The entire top part of the box was covered completely with spools of ribbon, and underneath all that was serger thread. I don't have a serger, and it's not that I don't want one. However, they're expensive. And for what I do, I don't necessarily need a serger, although it would be nice. But serger thread doesn't fit onto the machine like, I don't want to do that end first. Okay, so we're going to do this end first, and then we're going to go back the opposite way on both ends. And this is going to be what keeps it all together. And you can see right here something was off a little bit. But that's okay, because I think I'm going to have to trim that down a little bit anyway. So I hope this is not too boring for y'all. And, you know, I kind of want to learn how to edit, because it would be a lot nicer for me to be able to give you a video that is clean cut. However, at the same time, I also like it when I'm watching a creator and they keep their mishaps in, because that way, if a mistake does happen or there's a little boo-boo for whatever reason, they are able to show you exactly how they fix it. I'm a big proponent of that, because when I first started watching all these videos for junk journals, I was coming across a lot of people that were just not showing their mistakes. Okay, so because my throat here, this is called a throat, from this side to where the needle is not very big, I'm going to turn it around and go from the opposite direction. Anyway, so the people that were popping up in my feed were ones that, you know, they're perfect at editing, and they don't keep the mistakes in, and so they can't show you if they made a mistake, how they fix that. Okay, one more. We're almost done. And this video is going on 20 minutes, so we're going to have a part 3. Because I live in the country, and even though this particular internet company seems to be a lot better than any of the other ones, it still takes a while to upload a video that's longer than like 20 minutes or so. Okay, so we need to sew this side. And I don't want it to take all day. You know what I mean? Okay, so did we miss any sides? Okay, we got this side to do. And then I think that'll be it for part 2 anyway. And also make sure that your fabric is flat, because this was folded under. And from experience, I can tell you, it is no fun picking stitches. Okay, so it looks like I got them all. Okay, so I now have 3 of these, and they will be going in my shop when I'm done with them. I did make 2 of these. Part 3, I'm going to show you how I do this, and if it doesn't take too long, I will show you how I attach that into here to make it a cover, actually, because I have some batting and I have to find some more, make sure I have enough, because I actually see I had another little mishap there, because I tried it both ways, and I actually like the feel of this in my hand with that batting in between. It just feels like when there's not, I wish you could feel this through the camera. Like this here, it feels okay, but it's still a little bit too pliable. And you know, this batting is soft, so it is very pliable, but the thickness of it makes it, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels better. So I'm going to go find, let's see, I sewed this onto muslin. So let me see if I have another piece of muslin that's big enough to cover this. And stay tuned for part 3, and we'll make this and then put them together. So, oh, and you didn't even see any of that because, see y'all, that's how my days go. I totally forgot to move the camera. So yeah, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so this here is sewn on to a piece of muslin, and I wasn't sure whether or not I just wanted to sew these together and have it like this, but it is pliable. And this one here, it's not connected, but I do have a piece of batting there. I think I need to find a bigger piece. But this just makes it feel so much more squishy, welcoming, comfortable. I don't know how you want, I don't know how to explain it. So I am going to see if I have another piece of muslin that is at least as big enough as those, so I can make another one of those, because, oh, sorry about that. I coffee dye a lot of the white fabric, you know, whatever I'm using, that's like, even if it's cream, I coffee dye all these. And so this is what I'm going to be using to make that other inside cover. So there you go. I hope you found that helpful and informative, and stay tuned for part 3. Have a great day and happy crafting.